Yeah, it's been super fun. It's been intense. It's been inspiring.
Well, I was going to say intense in a good way,
Yeah.
like a program where you're always busy, but you are not overworked. You are very busy and you are doing what you love to do, and it's different projects. I've learned here, I think more than anywhere else, how to juggle, because I usually like I'm doing this one project and then I can think about the other one. But here you really have to juggle because we have the luxury of doing so many different things that you have to learn how to do everything fully, separately. And we just have so many wonderful opportunities. Yeah. And it's very, very busy, but I do not feel overworked, which I think is also a benefit of this program, where you are in beautiful Santa Barbara, which I've spent the last 5 years in Philadelphia. It's always sunny in Santa Barbara. It really is. And that does help too, just like feeling a really good environment. I am really moved by the people. Yeah. I just think this program is a very healthy, safe, happy place of growth. Yeah. And no matter where you are in your education, how many programs you've done, young artist programs. I mean, we have 22-year-olds, I'm 28, and I feel absolutely like I belong in this program in this moment in my life. And it's nice to meet people like you and the singers and instrumentalists that you know you're gonna have your entire career with. Like you're meeting them now and it's like, we are gonna share a stage together. We are going to work on a project together. And that I feel very strongly here, just because I feel the caliber of each individual in each program is so special and so fingerprint artist and such a good human being. So that has impacted me of just feeling very, I mean, I was behind getting my lunch and Jeremy Dank just starts talking to me.
I also had lunch with Jeremy Dank when he was here. And I was like, I read your book, Jeremy Dank.
I watched you on CBS Morning Show.
What's up?
I know. I mean, that does not get old.
No, I know.
They bring the best of the best.
Yeah. No, that was a crazy experience because I truly read his book kind of like, oh, this is a book about a musician. I'm a musician, and it was beautiful, and I was like, oh, this is a great memoir about being a musician. And then, you know, he was here, and I was like, I know about your childhood, you know, like I read your memoir.
And we're eating together.
Like eating lasagna. But also Sasha Cook, you know, like spending a bunch of time with Sasha and John.
I know.
And even, you know, William Long and Mary Birnbaum, and like all of these incredible people in the industry who are, you know, not only valuable in terms of connection, right? But also just have so much to offer in terms of experience and knowledge about the industry and about the art. And I feel like there's an acknowledgement of the things that are not how we would like them to be in the industry. Point. And we talk about them, we talk about health and wellness, and we talk about diversity, equity, inclusion, and we talk about, you know, how to have a personal mission statement and be an artist as well as a citizen, and all of those things on top of talking about how to get the job and all of those things. And so those things in combination make me actually really excited about the future of working in this industry.
I completely agree with you.
The first time I've felt that in a while.
No, I would completely agree.
Yeah.
And feeling what you were saying with both being a citizen and also being you in this industry. Yeah. I feel when Sasha called me and said, we'd like you to come to Music Academy of the West, we want you to make the summer that you want to experience. That is rare for a program. You know, you're usually, and there are benefits for every program, of course, but this really feels like, what do you want to do? Let's help. And Shauna said the same thing to me the other day. How can I help you? And it's really nice because as we feel like one group, you're also your individual self, not just running around doing things, but it's a purpose. And feeling like a citizen in this industry and also in Santa Barbara, I was thinking no matter where you are in the school year or the season, aside from the summer, I think Music Academy does a very good job, the Sing program. So there's little kids.
Love them.
And then I think generationally, I am impressed with alumni representation, having teaching artists be alumni, and just knowing that this is a family in Santa Barbara that people who come to see our shows want to be included. The little kids in Sing want to be included, and that you can take that wherever home is for you, and that it's our responsibility to use Music Academy as an example to then, you know, have educational programs and musical programs with kids where we are, or to talk with people after shows where we are. So I really like how Music Academy makes you feel more like a citizen of music and to be included in everything.
What's at the center of most of what I try to do as a director is creating access.
Yeah.
And it's a huge question that doesn't have one answer. And I think a lot of people think that opera accessibility stops at having super titles if it's not in English or whatever. And it's much, much more than that. It has to do with how do you feel when you walk into the opera house? Do you feel welcome? Do you feel included? Do you want to come back? Right? And that is a much harder question to answer for every individual person.
Right.
But I feel like that's a question that they're attempting to answer here.
I agree.
And that is not true at a lot of programs and a lot of institutions and houses. There's a lot of places where they are not interested in that question at all. They're not really interested in creating lasting access.
I agree.
You know,
where everyone feels important.
Yeah, and I do feel like Sasha and John and Shauna and the people at the wheel here are really actually asking that question and thinking long term and thinking big picture and thinking like, what do we do now that's gonna create ripple effects 5, 10, 20 years from now for this program? Like, how do we set us up for a legacy of striving for that access?
I completely agree with you. I think that does make the difference when the people at the wheel are listening, know for themselves, care about the program, they went to the program, they love the program. It does make a difference.
Yeah.
And also about how I feel we are talked to. I don't know how Music Academy does it, but I don't feel like a student. And it's a beautiful balance. You know, I am cared for. You get the attention and I don't know how they do it, but I really appreciate that because you are your freedom to be your own artist. If you're in the sing program, if you are in the LBI program, whatever, you are here to grow as an artist. And it's progress in the best way. And it's meeting you where you are now. I mean, I leave every coaching and I say, well, I figured it out. Today was when I figured out how to sing after every coaching.
That's awesome.
Because for sure, like the people that I've worked with here, I'm going to keep in contact with when I leave because they really do bring in the best of the best. And I feel like my voice and the growth that I am making this summer and need to make, everyone is meeting me there and it's wonderful.
I think what's interesting about that is I actually do feel like a student. But in a great way. Because I haven't been in school for the last few years and I've been feeling a sense of, I've just been kind of like out there trying to do the thing. And it is exciting and freeing, but it's also really hard to feel like I don't have a lot of guidance. And there's really
and structure and
especially for directors, there's really not a path that you can follow the way that I think for singers, and I remember this from being a singer, you know, it does feel like, you know, nobody can promise you anything, but if you get the BM and then you go get the MM, you know, if you go to undergrad and then you go to grad school and then you do the young artist programs, chances are you'll end up having some kind of career somewhere, you know? And if you have the teacher who's advocating for you and helping you make the connections, you'll figure it out eventually. It might not look the same for everyone, but like, there's kind of a path, right? And that doesn't exist for directors. It's not like, oh, well, you just have to go to grad school and then it's like some people are like, yeah, go to grad school, and some people are like, no, don't go to grad school. Learn by doing. And I get so many different opinions on that all the time. And you can't just audition for a show. You have to know the artistic director of the company and get them to want to work with you, and then have them come ask you to direct. You know, it's much harder to like get your foot in that door. And so what I was really looking for when I came here was the educational experience that I haven't really gotten yet as a director. And it is so exciting to get that here. It is so exciting to work with people like Ken Kazan.
I was going to say, Ken told you, you said like, you know, call me, let me help you.
Yeah, Ken and Mary, who are both just incredible directors, and working alongside them, I've learned so much just by watching. And, you know, from the very kind of theoretical ooey gooey things of like, I sit there and watch them stage and I feel like I'm learning by osmosis of their process and how to create something beautiful, you know, and then down to the very nitty gritty of the other day I asked Mary, like, somebody asked me for my fee. I don't know how to calculate that. How do you answer that question? You know, like the whole
specifics
range,
to
exactly, of the very kind of artistic, intangible side of things down to actually how do I move forward in the industry? How do I answer this email? You know? And they have been so helpful in all of that. And so I feel like I'm leaving a much better director than I came in. And it almost is hard to pinpoint exactly what that is, but I feel like I'm gonna.
You know it.
Yeah, I'm excited to go. I'm like, oh, I'm a different person than I was 8 weeks ago. That's crazy.
Yes.
Woo, you know?
Yeah, it's working. Yeah. No, for sure. I'm actually really glad that we're talking, because when you said that about the trajectory or the steps you need to take to be a singer, it's so funny because I feel that you're right. Everyone tells there's a clearer path about what to do. Mm-hmm. But I feel like me being here this summer, I mean, it was such a blessing because I have done the steps of, BM, MM, and I just graduated with my artist diploma.
Yeah, you've done it.
And still, I mean, we're always students. That cannot also go unsaid. We're always learning and growing. And that's why it's so lucky that there are programs like this, because sitting in Larry Brownlee's concert, sitting in Brian and Navasard's concert, I was telling myself I need to go to more performances and just sit and be, because it is so inspiring. It's a masterclass in itself, watching an artist, how they breathe, how they are in the space, how they bring you in. I mean, just experiencing everything that Music Academy has to offer is a lesson every single day, and you grow as a human and you grow as an artist. And this program is really special for me because I have done the steps and it is time for me to fly and go. And I'm telling you, when I met Sasha and John, my artist's soul felt recognized and appreciated immediately. And I didn't know what it was going to mean, because you're just in your audition, you sing your 2 songs. But I am not kidding. Like, I feel here, like you say, you feel more like a student and you're actually having this structure. And I'm no longer a student, and here I really do feel like an artist. So I really think it will hit you wherever you are in your journey. Mm-hmm. Sasha was here when she was 19. We have singers here who are 22, and I'm watching them, I'm listening to them, and I'm like, they're going to have a career. And I'm inspired by the stretch that this program, who they bring in and why they choose people. Yeah. And I think everyone should apply to Music Academy of the West, because you'll meet someone special, and even if it's just your audition process, everyone you meet, every email that you get, everyone is taking care of you and everyone is really kind. And I think kindness is really special because we're our own instrument, we're our own product. And if you feel good and you feel supported, you're going to make beautiful communication and beautiful music. I think. And you're going to be able to communicate with directors in a beautiful, supported way.
Yeah, collaboration. Like the emphasis on, thinking about what you were saying about watching performances and feeling so inspired by that.
100%.
I have also felt that, and I really love the way that Music Academy emphasizes collaboration across instrument, across genre, from LVI to the instrumentalists to chamber music to things like that, that singers are working on projects with instrumentalists and vice versa.
Right.
And we're encouraged to go see all of those things. And, the other night when we were at the Teaching Artist Showcase, and, I think all of us were kind of there for Sasha and John. We were there.
Maybe.
We were there to see Sasha and John do their thing and be amazing because we're
pond.
Singers first or opera artists first, and that's the thing that we get excited about. But then all of a sudden that Ravel piano trio, it changed my life. Was one of the most beautiful things I've ever heard. Had me crying, sitting there listening to it, and reminded me how much I love chamber music and how much I love string music, because I was a string player before I was ever an opera singer. And I was like, oh right, this is what it is. Like, this is why I'm doing this. Is not just for the moments with opera singers, but it's for all of it. You know? It's
for you to feel. No, this seems silly, but I really am starting to feel emotional too, because just sitting in these performances. And that is it, and that is championed here, knowing, it is a privilege to live in music. It is a privilege to talk about poetry and the scenes, and to just know that that fills your cup. And that's why we do it, not for achievement, not to get the job, but just that's enough. And the privilege of everyone who supports Music Academy of the West to know, come, we'll feed you, we'll house you, have that for the summer. Let it go. Don't think about anything else. Just be. It's really a gift. And that's why I really feel that this program is different, because you're busy, but you're fulfilled.
Yeah.
You're not running around to check boxes. You're really present.
Yeah. And the feeding and housing, I mean, that I really don't think that can go understated.
I know.
So many programs are not doing that. So many programs are not.
That's what I mean in terms of like how does a
Yeah.
and it's academy, so in the name is music academy. So you go, okay, student, okay, they're housing, they're feeding me. And I'm telling you, I feel more independent and more recognized as my artist self here than any other program I've done, any other school. And I don't know how it's done. It's beautiful because I feel like my individual self learning and growing. And it's beautiful.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.